So the dog's name is? Trip. And how long has Trip been at the shelter?
A couple months.
Okay. And what are Trip's upsides and downsides? What are his goods and bads?
Upside is he's 10 months old. He knows a few commands.
Okay.
Loves to play. Quite affectionate.
Okay. And any stumbling blocks? Any problems with him besides that he's 10 months old?
Energetic.
Okay.
Jumps up.
10 months old. Okay. So let's bring him out. Let's see what you do normally with him.
Normally?
Yeah, just you. Okay. Which would mean why he's, yeah. Good.
Sit. Good boy. Good boy.
It's a gorgeous dog.
Boy. Okay. Take a walk. Come in. Good boy.
So he has a habit of doing that to you. I saw it even when you got him out. So he's the kind of dog who's kind of opportunistic, and it's just in a stronger breed. So he'll start walking in front and not knowing where he's going. And Jerry, right?
Right.
Jerry starts to follow behind. So it's, Trip walking Jerry at that point, which defeats the purpose of the whole walk. So when he first got into the kennel with Trip, Trip was jumping. Sorry, when you walked up to the kennel. And then he waited, gave the dog a cookie once the dog's feet were on the floor, opened the door, and the dog immediately did what? Started jumping again. At which point we had a little bit of a struggle to get the collar on. But, all in all, I think Jerry did it very well. What we try to do with the dog in the beginning is get them to engage to us, and there's something you can do with him. And I know do you guys teach this for look? The eye, you guys do that? You do the same thing for look? Yeah. The one thing you want to be careful of with dogs when you're teaching them a look command here is you'll tend to keep your hand up here. I know what you're doing, but you want to be careful that the dog knows that it's this, not to follow the hand. Because what's happening to you is you do this, and you do this, and he goes, okay. So one way you can change that, one way you can get the dog to understand that better is take a treat out. You're going to have a treat in your hand, and you're going to teach him the look command, right? Okay. So do it. Tell him look. Put your hand down. Okay, so that's exactly what the dog does normally. So I'm going to teach you a little trick. Take the treat and hold it like this, and go look, and hold the treat in your mouth. I got a treat. No, get more though if you want. So the idea to that is, you don't have to use my treat now, but the idea is we're trying to teach the dog to keep his focus up here. Now, the one thing you want to be careful of is you don't want the dog learning to jump up, so you want to keep a hold of that leash. The dog has to focus on your eyes so that eventually you can go look and you can go halfway. Right, so the way I just teach a dog, in the beginning I do the same thing, but then I'll go look, boom, no, look. He has to know that that means look. So I'll hold this treat, go ahead, you get his attention, tell him off. And also when a dog is jumping on you, try not to back up, because that's him pushing into your space. So as soon as he jumps and you take one step forward, good. And as soon as he sits, reward that. Go ahead. Too many steps.
Still looking.
Because you didn't leave it in your mouth. Don't give it to him.
Still looking.
No, he wasn't. He was doing this. He was drifting. Okay, up. Keep it in your mouth. Look. No. But you don't need to take it out of your mouth. If I go like this, if I go look, and he looks down, I go no, look, and when he looks up, then I can just spit it in his. Now he's looking at you. Go ahead, try again. Good. Try it. Good. Look. Leave it. Good. No. Look, wait, so wait, when he looks up, you're going to say, yes, pay him.
Good boy.
And pay him to him. Yeah. And what I would suggest you do there, right? What I would suggest you do there is don't reintroduce this one. Then just go, look, yeah, drop it. That'll get it in his mouth. That's why I like to use hot dogs and cheese, because I can keep that in my mouth and just shoot it out of my mouth. I literally do that. With competition dogs, what you want. You want them. And we use cheese and boom, 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 boom. I'm like a machine gun. No?
No.
Tap. There you go. Good. Much better. Yeah, and that's why I would use smaller pieces. Yeah. I would break these. And again, these crumbly type treats are a little harder to use because you only have so much. Little piece of jerky, little piece of hot dog, little string cheese. You can keep it in your mouth. And what I'll do is show it to them. Look. put it back in my mouth. Look, put it back in my mouth. Like AKC, you use the little stick at the end here, a little chopstick, and you walk the dog all along. They learn to focus on your arm. Very good. Do it again. Okay, now if he doesn't sit on the first time, he's kind of confused, right? So you're going to say the command. He doesn't do it. No. Give him a little correction.
Sit.
No.
No.
Yes.
Good sit.
Right. So now you can tell him two things. If you're going to tell him sit, right, and then he say no, sit, and as soon as he does, go yes, move him and give him the reward. So what you're trying to do, if you want the dog to sit faster, you have to reward faster, right? The problem with dogs that go slow into the sit are dogs that were trained to come out of the sit slowly. If I pop him out of the sit, yes, boom, he's going to, the next time I say sit, he's going to go, see? There you go, I know. So sit, no, sit, yes, and they get excited. You come up a little bit in your energy.
Sit. Good boy. Okay.
Don't hit him, don't yank him. Yeah, but so, and therein lies the and it's not a mistake. And therein lies the problem. So if I say to the dog, sit, no, sit, yes, I want to get him excited. He needs to know, yes, is a release. Okay. So I want, yeah, oh, good boy. So start to teach the dog when you want him to release by getting excited about the release, right? So he did something great. Yeah, good boy. So you can be firm,
but he did
fun.
He did the great thing which was said.
Did great.
Now if I wait 5 seconds.
Don't wait 5 seconds. Right now we're trying to get a fast reaction. The key thing of making the sit become a stay is something we're going to work on. Right now he has to know, if I say sit, he has to sit. If I start teaching him duration before the exercise, before the proper technique, he's going to go into it slowly, just like if he were to be dog reactive, and I teach him sit, and he kind of goes, okay, I'm going to meander and sit. And this other dog comes walking by, his drive will come up higher than the source of the reward, right? So try it again.
Sit. No. Good sit. Good boy. Okay, come on.
Right, and I would pay him once he's finished. So the idea is sit. Watch. Give me any volunteer here. Anybody young and agile. Good. No, come on. Come on. So watch. I do this. I go, Steph, watch. Sit. Too slow. Nope. Come on. Sit. Yes.
Ooh, whoa.
See? Now watch. Come on, Steph. Come on. Hey. Sit. Yes. Right? Do you see what it's becoming a game? Now if I say sit. Good sit, good sit, good sit. Yes! Do you see how it's working? Do you see the point? Because if
I need more friends like Robert. Did you pay her for the release or did you pay her for the quick?
I pay her for the release, which makes her sit quicker. Do you see what I'm saying? So if I pay her for the sit, which I do in foundational training, in the foundation, I teach her sit by luring her into it. Good. And I'm paying during the exercise. Once I know she knows how to sit, and he knows how to sit, now I want him to do it when I ask like that. And in order to build that speed into it, I'm going to release him faster. So the only way a dog is going to be happy about doing something is to know he's going to get something when he's finished.
Okay, my question is,
Yeah.
so do you do that just in the beginning? Because to me, I don't want to reward a dog for getting up.
But you want to reward him when he's done with the exercise. In other words, if I sit, like I did with Steph the third time, I said, sit, good sit, good sit, good sit. Yes, and then I break her.
Then you pay her.
Then I pay her. So in the beginning, foundational training, lure, pay, then movement, pay. But eventually that movement will get slower and slower because the dog's going to go, all right, I'll take a treat. But if I can build a game into it, like if I... Totally gaming it, yeah. And it's a little bit more, because I want the dog to go, yeah, I'm going to sit. Yeah, I'm going to get paid. And then I'm going to back up again to where we just were. Then I'm going to go sit, good sit, wait. But in the long run, what I do with my dog, my personal dog, is obedience, wait, and then not pay till I release. And a lot of times I'll do a tactile mark. I'll say, yes, so that he knows not to break before I tell him. So, did you get that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one thing I would do. And the dog obviously likes you. He's licking you. I don't know how your wife's going to feel about that. But get him engaged to you so that, get him to look. Look.
Look.
Now you notice what you're doing? You're going, look, and you're already digging in your pocket. Don't let the reward be a part of the in-between thing. It's verbal, action, reward. That's why I can hold the money and then pay. I don't dangle the money in front of Steph trying to get her to come along. She sees it, she knows I got it. He knows you got treats, right? So get him to come to you, focus on you.
Come here. Yep, sit. No. Sit. No. Sit.
And if a dog doesn't get it after the second or third time in a position, I try to move the position to be a little bit more fair to the dog. See, so he's getting a little poor, oh, right? And when a dog goes to that place, I don't buy into that. So if he goes, oh, yeah. So when he goes there, I go like this, I go, come on, let's go. Because I want him to be strong. You're never going to do a dog a favor by buying into his weakness. You will do a dog a favor by moving him from, that would have been funny, by moving him from weakness back to strength and rewarding that. Never reward weakness in a dog.
Sit.
Move.
Sit. Oops, wrong.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about that. Do we ever put a correction on a command? Sit? No. We put a correction on a verbal correction? No.
No. Sit.
There you go. Good boy. Now he's not sitting.
Sit.
Lift him up by his collar. Help him. Right? Good sit. Move him.
Good boy. Okay, come on. Come on.
A dog remembers the very last thing they did, right? We know that. So I want the dog to go, sit. Yes, good boy. Boom, boom, boom.
Sit.
Good.
Good boy.
Remember the word, when you do this, this is no. This is no. There is no sit unless you're shaping the behaviors and moving him into the sit. Once he knows the sit, he's corrected for not doing it. He's rewarded for doing it.
Sit.
Nope.
No. Sit.
And this is where this dog is kind of getting static on him, right? You can see when he's freezing. So move around. Jerry, move. Good boy. Engage him a little bit. Hey, good boy, good boy. I would, yeah. And I'll tell you why in a sec. Good. But again, what's happening with you a little bit, Jerry, and you're the first guy, so it seems like I'm picking on you, and I'm not. I think you're doing a great job. One is just way too much in the leash. You have way too much going on leash. So the dog is becoming leash-wise. He's like waiting for you to do something with the leash, as opposed to focusing on you. So here, I'm going to give you some other treats. Oh, wow, I'll take the hot dogs. And what I would really think about doing too, you're using your pants, your pant pockets. So what I would think about doing is using some kind of a pouch or a treat bag or something so that you can put this around your waist and have the dog focusing not on your hands as much and your pockets as much, so they start focusing here. Because this is something that later you can slide it to the back. Later you can take it off and leave it on a table and go back and get it. So I'm going to put a couple hot dogs in here for you. These are very generously cut hot dogs, so be aware. I would use about half of one of those. Okay. So put that around your waist.
Good boy. Oops.
There you go. Right? So now for this time, don't touch the leash. Walk towards me, backwards, walk backwards, right? He's looking at you. Drop your hands. Drop your hands. And anytime you want, stop. Good. Tell him no.
No. Sit.
Move. No. Face him. Face your dog. Face him. Sit.
Sit.
Yes. And you're going to want to, again, this is one of those little boundaries you're going to want to pick. I use good as a bridge word. So if I say sit, good sit, good sit, good sit, I come back, I pay on yes or pay on free. I don't pay on good. And that's something you guys think about, work it out amongst the shelter staff. And another thing, grabbing his paws. If you want to create aversion to a dog jumping up on you, then grab his paws and squeeze his paws. But just putting him down, putting him down is engaging the dog, right? So your idea here, Jerry, should be this. Should be, hey, 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 this way, hey, this way, boom, 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 boom. Get him to engage with you. Then suddenly stop.
Okay, come on.
Face him, face him.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go.
And,
Sit.
nope. Yes, good boy. Yeah, but do it again, run away. Watch him, watch him. And,
Sit. Sit. Good
yes,
boy.
good boy.
Good boy.
If you have a leash in your hand, it should be loose. If you're working with a dog, that leash should be loose. Right? And? Nope.
Sit.
Yes! So now no leash is doing better, because unfortunately what you're tending to do with the dog when you have the leash is you're putting pressure on the dog that he doesn't know where it's coming from, and he's starting to put on the brakes and looking at you and doing that. So if you could use a longer line than that in your engagement, like maybe a 10-foot line or a 15-foot line, like a good 3-meter, 5-meter maximum line, and just let him drag it. Hey, and if he goes away from you, step on the leash. If he stops paying attention, you grab the leash and give him a correction, right? Again, that's a normal habit, grabbing paws and putting him down, grabbing paws, putting him down. You're building a relationship based on the paws. So what I do if a dog puts his feet up on the counter and people don't want dogs' feet up on the counter, I take my knuckles and I pop them on their knuckle one time. They stop pretty quick. But this is not good. The old school, yeah, they would just pinch the feet. I'm not that big on it. Right now, I would teach him by pushing him back, walking into him. Because you need to assume he's jumping up on you because he's assuming a playful dominance with you, right? I wouldn't come up to you and go, hey, 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 Jerry, 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 right? If I didn't have a set of playful dominance with you. If we just met in the street, I wouldn't do that, right?
Right.
But he's doing that to you. You would hope not, right? So when he does it, just step forward, go, hey, sit. Move into him. Move into him so he understands who's in charge. This way, so he's looking, good. Good. That's what I want him to start to figure out is what's going on. That the relationship is based on him trying to figure out what to do to please you, as opposed to you trying to figure out how to get him to do what you want him to do. Right? So a couple more minutes and then we're done. And also, you know, it's normal, petting the dog, interacting with the dog a lot. In the meantime, I try to turn off. Much better. Right.
Here we go, here we go. Sit.
Look at the difference, right? So and this is something you can do. You only want to walk the dogs. You only walk the dogs. But now you're stepping into the realm of being an apprentice dog handler. Because if you're running with them and suddenly you go, hey, here, boom, boom, boom. And that's one of the things I would teach you to do with them. Put them on a leash, you're walking with them, and all of a sudden what I would do is I'd stop, and we do it to teach a dog a front. You walk, jog, and then go, hey, here, 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 here. So the dog can learn if something's going on and we're here, I can take one step back and go, no, here, and the dog will front and turn away from that object. You're going to use a heel command in this position, right? You're going to walk here, heel position, heel position, heel position. And then at some point when you determine, you're going to step back and you're going to recall the dog this way to you and then make him sit.
Okay.
And again, keep that leash loose.
Good boy. Good boy. Come on.
Right? Here, come, and sit. Keep your hands out of your pockets.
I was going to treat him.
Not yet, he didn't sit. And you don't need to reach for the treat. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes, I think you'll agree with me too, Lynn, is people start to go, oh good. And in other words, you're predicting the release to the dog already, so the dog's already doing what he should be doing when the exercise is done, when he hasn't even started doing the exercise yet. You're going, okay, I'm going to tell him to sit. I'm going to tell him to sit. Okay, you ready? You ready? You ready? You ready? Sit. And he's like, well, what are you doing in your pocket?
So you wait until he does it.
The release triggers the movement to pay. So if I say sit, and he sits, I go, yeah. And then I reach in my pocket, or I reach in get my toy or whatever. Just like the non-performance of what I'm asking him to do is going to trigger my correction, right? Everything is triggered by the dog, everything.